Cool. Thank you. How you doing?
Wonderful. How you been?
Amazing. I just want to welcome you to ASAP's podcast, and I would like to introduce you, Kevin Agnello, the project manager of Human Capital Analytics with Frontline Education. And I would like to read your bio. So what I see is you've been with Frontline Education for 6 years before you transitioned into your current role as project manager. You were a data analyst at Frontline, where you were responsible for analyzing and sharing national and regional education data trends with district and school administrators. You're a former high school math teacher. You hold two education master's degree, and you are working on dissertation towards a PhD in educational psychology. Your favorite part about your job is working directly with school and district leaders with organizational data. Um, so thank you for joining us today again.
Absolutely.
And I would love to start with a couple questions, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear more about the types of national education data trends that you work with and share with school leaders.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. The human capital management space in K-12 generates a ton of data
Mm.
through various transactional systems. I'm talking about things like absence and substitute teacher tracking, time tracking, recruiting and hiring, your general human resource software, professional development, and human resources, or excuse me, employee evaluation tracking software. The data that I work with is massive. It includes information from thousands of school districts, representing, I think, every state in the United States. And if you analyze the data effectively, it can give you some really valuable insights. So, for example, just by looking at absence trends and substitute fill rate trends over time, both nationally and regionally, for different types of absences, school leaders could get a better understanding of issues related to classroom coverage and just making sure that learning momentum in the classroom stays as high as possible, making sure that the classrooms are filled with the appropriate and qualified substitutes. Another area where human capital management data is super valuable is in analyzing job postings and applicant trends. With all the buzz around the teacher shortage, data like this can shed some light on what's really going on in the education job market and help identify potential solutions for attracting and keeping some top-notch educators. And just by tapping into insights like this, school leaders can really make informed decisions about investing in their staff's growth and development, and then hopefully that leads to better outcomes for students.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Huh. That's really nice to know. And I guess next I would like to ask you, what can districts do best? Uh, what can districts do to best understand how these types of trends impact them?
Yeah, so to really understand how the trends in the human capital management space
Mhm.
impact specific districts, districts should really take some time to dig into their own data. While national trends can provide like really important and valuable context, it's still essential for districts to dive deep into the data that they generate through their daily operations to gauge the true impact of the related phenomena at their specific local level. All these districts have access to a wealth of data through all of their various systems that they use every day. The systems that I've already mentioned. And
Mm.
like I even know of districts that leverage LinkedIn data to see who's engaging with their posts and accessing their job postings, just to see who might be showing interest in their district, and they proactively reach out to these folks to see if they really are interested, and they try to make those connections. And analyzing district-specific data should allow school leaders to make informed decisions that they know will be tailored to their local context instead of relying
Mm.
on national trends. And national level data sets and trends may look impressive and they may tell a great story, but it's not nearly as useful at driving impactful change in individual districts as that district specific data is.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah. This is all new to me too. So like I find this very like fascinating. So I
Oh,
appreciate
cool,
you sharing
cool, yeah.
this. Yeah. And so I guess the next question I'd like to ask you is, what should district administrators be doing with these types of data?
Cool. Yeah, that's a fun question. So district admin can leverage human capital data in so many ways. And I'll give you a couple of examples that I've worked with recently. So
Mhm.
first, here's like a fun fact. So school district faculty and staff absences are highly predictable at the district level. So trends like higher absence rates on Mondays and Fridays compared to other days of the week, or
Mhm.
absences tend to stay pretty steady in the fall, but then they steadily increase throughout the spring and they peak in May. Trends like that are really common. They're probably the trend in just about every district across the country. And then similarly, like the top 10 days with the most absences in any given school year almost always tend to be Fridays in April and May.
Mhm.
So like knowing things like this and then confirming that it's the case in your individual district, the administrators there can actually predict absences before they happen. Like how cool is that for admin to be able
Yeah.
to do something like that? So with that, they could proactively recruit place substitutes. They could institute substitute engagement and incentive programs to make sure all their classrooms are filled. They could make sure that they aren't creating more absences than necessary on those really high volume days.
Mhm.
Hopefully they're doing all of this to minimize any disruption to student learning, right? So all really important stuff. Then like another area where districts are really digging into this type of data is in evaluating their applicant and hiring process.
Mhm.
So like, for example, applicants typically go through various stages in a hiring process in a district. So they submit an application, they go through a review, they have a first interview, second interview, background checks, and so on. Districts are diving deep into this data, all this applicant data at each stage of their hiring process, trying to find any opportunity for improvement. So they're
Mhm.
asking themselves questions like, how long do my applicants stay in each stage on average? Is each stage really necessary? At which stage, if any, do applicants voluntarily withdraw from the process? What changes can be made to my process to minimize the number of applicants who leave because they might just be waiting too long to hear back from us?
Mhm.
How can I better train my staff to enhance the applicant experience as they move through our process? Again, going back to this teacher shortage idea, you really need to be tight in your processes so that you don't lose any applicants unnecessarily and hopefully keep them engaged in your process. So just by analyzing data like that, identifying bottlenecks, streamlining procedures, you're hopefully creating a more efficient and applicant-friendly process. But I mean, there's so much districts can do with data from all these systems. It's really transforming the way that a lot of the districts that I work with operate, and it's always really exciting for me to hear about all the various ways that they're leveraging this data
Yeah.
to ultimately drive some really cool positive change in their district.
Hmm. Okay, very interesting. Thank you. Yeah. Um, and I guess next I would like to ask you, let's see here. When it comes to the desire and need to use data to drive organizational change, where can district and school administrators begin?
Yeah, good question. So district and school administrators should start by taking a good look at
Mhm.
their existing data sources. Many districts are already using a bunch of software tools that generate data all the time, but they may not be tapping into that information or analyzing it effectively.
Yeah.
So to get the ball rolling, you should at least take a stock of the types of systems that you're using and figure out where they may find some useful data. But before they even do that, there's something really important that I've noticed working with different districts across the country in the last few years, and that's all about having the right mindset. Administrators need to believe that their human capital management data can really be used to make decisions and drive change. It's so easy to overlook something as simple as a tool that you use just to log your teacher absences.
Mhm.
Uh, but when you look at it from a different angle, like I mentioned earlier, that that seemingly mundane system can hold the key to even predicting absences before they happen. And that's pretty cool. So having that mindset and desire, the belief that your human capital management data can be just a powerful force for change in your district is just absolutely essential. It's about shifting from seeing these systems as just your administrative tools that you use as just part of your daily process, to fully recognizing them as gold mines of insights that can help improve your organizations. And once admin have that mindset in place, they can move forward with that data inventory, taking a closer look at the systems that they use for all of their various functions, understanding what data that they actually have available to them, and then start connecting those dots. So the journey toward using that data to drive change starts with believing in the power of it,
Mhm.
uh, and then tapping into the potential for some truly game-changing improvements within their district.
Amazing. Okay. And if you don't mind, can I ask you like what drove you to go into this industry?
I've been an educator through and through my entire adult professional life.
Yeah.
I always had interest in becoming a teacher. As I was progressing K through 12, I
Mhm.
was fortunate enough to do just that. I was a math teacher in high school for a few years, and just really became invested in the craft and in the profession. Decided to move on and pursue advanced degrees in education, looking at education trends and phenomena through a different lens than a teacher gets the opportunity to do.
Mhm.
And then I slowly made my way to Frontline Education, and have had great opportunities here at Frontline to continue on that path of still working in education, just in a slightly different capacity. And I've been very lucky to connect skills that I have with a passion.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy working with districts. I still get to feel like I have a foot in the door directly into K-12, like I did when I was a teacher. But I get to sort of spread my wings a bit wider and help districts all across the country instead of just one individual district that I'm working in.
Mhm.
So it's been a lot of fun for me, and I really enjoy what I do.
I love that. Um, and just wrapping up, I would love to highlight your social media. It looks like on LinkedIn, you are at Frontline Space Education, and on Twitter, Frontline EDU. So I
Yep,
would like to make sure that our viewers like know how to follow you guys to learn more about your trade and how you navigate your day to day. And
thank you.
absolutely, yeah. I want to thank you a lot for joining me today as well. And just for closing statements, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up about like your career and like your passion?
I think we covered it all. I really appreciate the opportunity. This was a lot of
Absolutely.
fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.